Yeah, one, this is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Saturday, the 14th of August, 2021. And this is the weekly technical analysis for spot gold and dollar yen. And you can see some volatile major moves on spot gold at the start of the week. Let's take a look at that first. This was the Monday fall of 800 pips. And then after testing the 138 pip extension, it pulled back up, retraced another about 460 pips back up above this 1725 intermediate support. So that was a major drop following Friday's better than expected US non-farm payroll data, payroll report, and a lot of selling pressure right from the start of the day. Let's switch to the 4-hour time frame. And in fact, the 1 hour, right at the start of the day at 6 a.m., it already sold off as the 800 pips within the first couple of hours. And after the first hour, there was even a gap down of 170 pips, then sell off further to almost 300 pips before climbing back up. And that's from 8 o'clock, it managed to climb back up a few 200 pips. And for the end of the day, it did hit the climb up to retest the swing low. It dropped below and then consolidate for a couple of days. Let's move back to the 4-hour time frame. So let's also go to the daily time frame first, and this was the swing low that it came up to retest before falling again. So it actually retraced all the way back about 680 pips before dropping lower again on the Monday. So all this happened on the Monday alone. This was the recovery, 680 pips back up to the swing low, and then fell again from the swing low, fell to the 1725 and at 250 pips. So major moves on the Monday. Let's go back to the 4-hour time frame, and then on the Wednesday, it recovered further with lower than expected US CPI figures, and then following that on the Friday, late on Friday, we go to the 1-hour time frame. At 10 o'clock, there was the University of Michigan consumer sentiment figure, which is drastically lower than expected, and this was an excuse for the other major pairs to recover against the US dollar. So it was targeting the weekly pivot for last week, trying to get back to the 78.6 retracement. So now the support is still the same at this 21 fib. 1750 was the that swing low area. 1725 is still an intermediate support. Now coming back up to the resistance at this 78.6 or the 21 fib retracement of this swing low, swing move down. So this was a massive bounce back and rebound. So we can actually move this to show this rebound here. It has crossed back above 62 fib retracement. If I just flip this over to where it fell from the previous Wednesday with this triple top test, and it has recovered past the 62 fib area. So it does break through this intermediate area with where the previous let's move this this previous last week's weekly's pivot. This will be intermediate resistance now. And the major resistance area is still at the 1800, and as well as the monthly pivot, along with the daily 55 and the daily 200, sitting at each of these areas. So this could be actually be a very significant zone here. From 1800 to 1804. Mark this as an intermediate resistance. And if we scroll left, you can see where that swing low did come down to almost test this support zone. And this week there's a major news with the FOMC meeting minutes being released on Wednesday. In addition, there are also a couple other medium impact news. Okay, let's also take a quick look at, well, before we do that, let's take a look at the weekly time frame. And you can see this long wick here below, major bounce of over almost 800 pips, closing as a bullish hammer, and there could be some bullish momentum to continue next week, but it's going to run into resistance. So we'll see if it's able to test the 1800 again before consolidating. So now some support zone here at a 50 fib, and along with the bigger time frame 21 fib retracement area. So it needs to break below this support as well as the 1750, and 1725 is this could be the range for the key support and resistance area, which is now widened up because of last week's volatility. So there could be consolidation first before further breakout moves. right? But this was a major fall for spot gold last week, and then a strong recovery. So let's take a look at the US dollar index, the XY, which relatively tame compared to spot gold's movement, but it did hit resistance with this previous swing high and stopped as a double top now. And the Wednesday was the lower than expected CPI figure, and then Friday's fall with the consumer sentiment figures. So this could be a key support zone with the daily 55 and 200 EMAs here. Resistance could be at the 92.78, so there could be some consolidation in this range. So if this is a double top, then it's likely to test this support zone. And below that, the major one will be at the 35th retracement. All right, so let's see whether there's any impact from the FOMC meeting minutes and to the US dollar. Let's go back to spot gold. So for now, we'll use this swing move, recent one. The bigger time frame is still a major swing move down, and where it almost did come back to retest that swing low. But then it has bounced back up from this swing low at a 0, back up above the 21 fib retracement. And it started to fall from the 38 fib retracement. All right, so basically this range here, almost 2 fib range here, fib levels of almost that's 1,400 pips at almost 1,500. Okay, let's move on to dollar yen. Where it was relatively quiet compared to spot gold. It did gap up at the start of the week on Monday, gap up higher a bit and pull back to find support at the 110 area support zone, and then climb up to test the 21 fib. Didn't get through to the 111 area, sorry. So just tested the 21 fib and then fell all the way back to the 50 fib. For the week. So this was the Wednesday's test and rejection due to the lower than expected CPI figure, and then the Friday's drop with the consumer sentiment. I think we can move this out now, and it's not able to climb back into the bullish channel. So let's wait this a bit. For now, this is the wider range from the 109 to just below 111. And last week's weekly pivot was just slightly above the 50 fib. So it's fallen right to the 50 fib area. And now this will be resistance at the 110 zone. As a wider zone here with the monthly pivot above that, 38 fib as well. So about 14 pip zone here of resistance. Okay, last week's weekly pivot was at 109.76. So there could be a possible test of the key support at the 109, and then still consolidation, and looks like it's still going to be stuck between the 109 and 110. All right, so next week we'll see what the impact is from the meeting minutes, and whether there's any excuse to move the dollar and other major pairs on the other US news, just like it did for the last couple of weeks. So use the news as a trigger to drive the pair movement. All right, so watch out for that. Watch out for the news release. Okay, so do check out my other videos on the other major pairs, and have a safe week and a good trading week, and cheers for now.